Hello all. For those of you who aren't familiar with my channel or podcast, I am an anonymous YouTuber that talks about movies and moral philosophy and will eventually start talking about school subjects. My podcast is typically where I release audios and my channel is where I release videos. Unless, of course, there is an audio that's so important that I don't want other people to have to listen to my entire podcast in order to listen to just one audio. Then I will release that audio on my channel. For those of you that are familiar with my podcast, my next audio will be releasing on April 18th at 6:30 Pacific time. Well, without further ado, let's get started on today's topic. So, ever since The Godfather Part III came out, and in the years since then, there have been people that are iffy about reaching out to their cousins in fear of representing something that's inappropriate. What they don't realize is that the reason that the romance between the cousins was included in The Godfather Part III is because that was a common thing going on in Italy. Yep. I will give you a couple seconds to let that sink in. Okay, no, not all Italians were like that, and no, not all people are like this either. I know that a lot of you are probably thinking, oh, but there's people who might think that all people who reach out to their cousins would do something like that. Well, that's not true. Nobody is genuinely stupid, and whenever somebody doesn't understand something, it comes from not trying, being upset about other things in their life, or telling themselves that they're stupid, or that there are people out there that are genuinely stupid. For those of you who are getting bored, this is an audio, not a video, so feel free to have this on in the background while you do other stuff. Because of people telling themselves that there are people out there that are genuinely stupid, their brain has been looking for proof that it's true, and they've been believing that it's true. Unfortunately, because of this, there are people that spend too much time thinking that people are going to say something or think something, when in reality, no one would, because they wouldn't get anything out of it. And as we all know, the movie that started this all was the original Pinocchio. I know what some of you are thinking, seriously? Why didn't you talk about that movie in your videos about how certain movies have failed to deliver positive messages? Because when I talk about movies that have failed to deliver positive messages, I mean movies that have not only failed, but that don't have any counterparts that make up for the damage that it has caused. The terrible original Pinocchio has the incredible live-action one with Tom Hanks. For those of you who didn't see it yet, I would highly recommend watching it as soon as possible. For those of you who are having Marvel and or Despicable Me related thoughts, I do have 2 YouTube shorts releasing on April 7th. For those of you who have questions related to my YouTube channel, feel free to check out my tutorial releasing on April 16th. Well, thank you all so much for listening to this audio. Feel free to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. And feel free to talk about this audio with as many people as possible. For those of you who have negative things to say about this audio, you are afraid to do stuff that comes across as sensitive, and you need to watch the 2015 version of Vacation as soon as possible.